Yo, what is up, people? Bryan Klein here one more time with the Max Factor. And for those of you guys that don't know, the Max Factor is named after my dad, Max. And he taught me one thing: be your best, try your hardest, always reach towards your highest potential. But above all, discover the one thing in your friggin' life that you absolutely love, and then go after that one thing. Never work a day in your life. That's what the Max Factor is. And the purpose of this is to encourage everybody, literally, on the face of the earth, to discover their one thing, take full advantage of it, and discover their Max Factor. And I'll tell you today, we've got some absolutely fantastic people with us that are crushing it in the franchise and business world, really doing a fantastic job. I've got my good friends here, Brooke and Pat from Frutta Bowls, and we're going to have some freaking good time here.
Yeah.
Talking about your success. Thanks a lot for coming, guys.
Of course.
I know it was a
you.
long trip from Freehold,
Yeah.
right?
Pretty far.
Did you hit a lot of traffic?
A lot.
I mean, yeah, there's that deer that always comes across the road on the 520 over there. So, man, it seems like this thing is just everywhere. The other day I'm driving down Route 9, and I literally, almost come to a screeching halt because I'm like, son of a gun, Brooke got a damn poster on Route 9, a billboard, before we got our poster on Route 9. That is awesome, and it seems like an overnight success. But we all know, there's no such thing as a friggin' overnight success. There just can't be. And I don't know the whole details of it, but, what do you think, first of all? Is there such thing as an overnight success?
Overnight success if you work your butt off 24/7. Really it's no sleep. And we both say, if you believe in something and you put your heart into it, like you said, there's no such thing as going to work. For us, this is enjoyable. It's fun. And when it's enjoyable and fun, you put your heart into it and you're doing something that you like, then there's overnight success because you're working your butt off to do it.
But I'll tell you something, just in the short time that we were talking before, I've known you guys for a while, but in those few minutes that we were talking before, I noticed something that maybe Brooke, I'm sure she knows in her heart, but it's not coming out fully right now, and that's this. There literally is no such thing as an overnight success. You know that.
Yeah.
I know that you know that. But here's the part, your dad's sitting right next to you, and you guys were talking about mindset before, and it seems to me like you were almost groomed for success, whether it's athletics or to totally crush it in business. You don't just freaking wake up with this type of attitude and this type of mindset. You're lucky because, you're young, right?
Yeah.
And you've probably been working on this for the last 10, 15 years of just, mindset. Mindset is probably as early as, tell me.
Listen, I will tell you, right from a very young age, from a toddler, I knew Brooke was different. She had a work ethic that was like none other. And I always said, even as a kid, I'd be working in the backyard, building a fence, and I turn around and there's this toddler in diapers with a 2x4 on her back, dragging it because she can't pick it up, bringing it to me, and I turn around, I'm like, who is this kid? So she's always had this drive and this work ethic, and the one thing I think that is all critical that goes with that is her attitude. She's such a positive attitude, and it got her where she's at right now. This is all her.
And I could believe it, yeah.
Yeah.
But for me, I know I give a lot of credit to my parents, and my dad has only stepped foot into this building maybe a couple of times, right? And even with that said, it's the mindset that I was gifted. That's why I call this the Max Factor. It's since a very early age. The books that I read, the thoughts that I put in my mind, the habits that you pick up. For God's sakes, how do you guys start your day?
Yeah, every day we start at the gym.
Every day.
It's a routine. It gets us going. I feel like it gives us a bunch of energy to get going throughout the day. I feel like if we didn't do that, we wouldn't be as productive throughout the day.
We're super competitive, like we always have been. Brooke's an all-American athlete. We're talking about
That's awesome.
We're talking about a kid here that went to college for softball and field hockey, and her sophomore year of college, she decided. Now she's recruited to go to this school for softball. She decided that, best kid on the team. I'm bored. I need a challenge. I'm going to play lacrosse. Didn't even own a stick. Borrowed one from the coach to try out for the college team. You know, and
That
not
is
only does she not
crazy.
try out, but senior year she's captain and All-American. So that's the kind of drive we're talking about right here.
But it's more than drive. Like so, if I understand this right, you tried out for lacrosse, but you borrowed someone else's.
The coaches, right?
I don't even know. I don't even know.
That's
who
how I
it was.
remember it. It was
Yeah.
a coach.
Yeah. I mean, I played softball all my life since I could throw. And I loved it too, but I always wanted to try lacrosse, and I was like, it's a good opportunity right now. So
You just did it. You just tried it out.
She tried out
I
for
tried,
team.
yeah. I started speaking with the girls lacrosse players and started doing like fall practice or winter practice with them, and then I tried out for the team.
That is totally incredible.
It's insane.
It's work ethic, but to me it also seems courage, right?
Yeah, I mean that year too. I mean, I obviously progressed through the years, but I think like the one reason why I made the team was just my work ethic and my heart, because I was definitely one of the worst ones on the team at the time, but I was doing anything possible to show them that I cared and was a team player, and I think that I want to say that was one of the main reasons.
Well, you're so darn competitive. Like, you were just never happy. So you're never happy unless you're the best. It's just that simple. And, so she had 3 years to become this person that never played before to become the best. And, you were going to do it or die trying is really.
I mean, when you
really
start
the
like
attitude.
tracing this back and really breaking it down, it's like, no, this wasn't an overnight success, because heck, if it's not Frutta Bowls, it's sports, right?
Yep.
And you were honing your competitive nature
Yeah.
and your courage and your ability to persevere under pressure and all these things for years. I
mean,
think.
even before, I totally agree. Even before that, I mean, there's scenarios that happen in Frutta Bowls, like an everyday situation, and I feel like it's stuff that like my parents have kind of like put me in a situation when I was younger, and now I relate to it, and I can't say anything specific, but I'm like, oh wow, that happened to me when I was a kid, but now I know what to do and what not to do. So I definitely feel like just growing up, they've put me in, situations, day-to-day situations where I had to make decisions, and it's like the same that I have to do now for business. So
Yeah, my wife and I, we have 4 kids, and they're all amazing in their own ways, every single one of them. And we're really, really supportive of all of them. And they all went down different roads, all successful. And, we're just really supportive. Like, so we know we want to push them and make them meet, any challenge that they can, get, they're going to overcome it. They're going to be the best. I mean, I always knew, with all my kids, I know they're all going to be incredibly successful, and they already are. It was just, in what? We didn't know. We had no idea it was going to be Frutta Bowls. I knew she was going to be, who she is, but just...
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So what is the state of Frutta Bowls right now? How many units do you have opened up, and what's on the horizon coming up in the future?
Yeah, we have 49 locations open now in 16
Bam.
states.
Wow. 16 states. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, in the beginning, I mean, when we opened,
Do you wake up in the morning and go like, okay,
Yeah.
am I real? Is this am I
Pretty
a real
much.
person, or is
Pretty
this some
much.
sort of dream?
Yeah.
No, she wakes up in the morning and goes, emails, text messages.
Yeah.
I don't wake
Right
up.
to work.
I was saying, I mean,
It's
between the
24/7.
two, like, the emails are just constantly going.
I don't know how
Yeah.
she does it, honestly. I'll talk to her at 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. Then I'll get a few text messages after that, and then I'll go to sleep, and I'll wake up in the morning at 6 o'clock, and I get an email from 3 a.m. And then
I'm a night person.
wait, and then
I
here's
get
the
a lot
then
of-
here's the best part. I show up at the gym, and there she is. I'm like, wait, like, what's going on here? How are you doing this?
And what I find to be absolutely amazing is people will pull from this whatever they pull from it, right?
Yeah.
They see like 3 jacked up, like really pumped up people. But what I'm getting out of this, because there's like nuggets of gold in here, it's like, for God's sakes, it's 12:30 at freaking night, and you're still taking texts, you're still taking emails, you're still thinking about your business. And then you get up in the morning at 6 o'clock, and how many burpees did you do today?
Well, we started with 150.
Well, 150?
And then, but again, we're competitive, so it wasn't just like a casual, it was me
Head to
against
head.
you, and we're going head to head to see who finishes first. And,
That is sick.
and that's every day. And
That's
and
amazing.
sometimes I let her win, but
I gotta take it easy on
no,
that.
she's a great athlete in every way.
I'm sure you guys run into all types of business people, right? Like people that inspire you to work even harder, people that are totally going for it and crushing it. I'm sure you also run into the opposite side, like people that want it, but they just don't get it yet. They just don't understand that it's a grind. I mean, you've got to be willing to stay up late
Yeah.
and to get up early. I mean, I for one, I run into people all the time that, unfortunately, they want it, but you know, it's like they're tired, or the kids are a problem, or you know, and to me, it's just an excuse. It's like, it's management. Like, manage your freaking time. I mean, for God's sakes, like if someone else could stay up to 12:30 and then get up at 6, well, you know, manage your time.
Yeah.
Do you have any secrets? Is there anything
listen,
diet besides exercise?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
but
I'll be
exercise
honest with you. Exercise, I think, is a huge part of it because you start off that day, you know, working out, you get the blood flowing. You're a different person all day long. You got energy that you don't have if you're not challenging yourself in the morning. You know, you talk about like motivating and, you know, challenging. You know, you are a huge inspiration for us. We started out really paying attention.
Wait, one more
this.
time?
No, but I mean it sincerely. I'm not just saying it. It's really true. We met you early on, and we were so inspired by what you had going on. And
I
we
mean,
just
I
said,
think it was just one location when we
maybe,
met with you.
yeah.
I want to say it was our first or second
You might have
location.
been just starting a franchise.
We
and we actually came for advice, and you were kind enough to, like, literally, you didn't have to take that time. And we were so thankful for it. And
I was so excited
you
for that
might not have
meeting,
been like, a little meeting. It was unbelievably meaningful to our success of what's happened.
Yeah.
Right? We came out
mean,
here so motivated.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. It's
Yeah.
very nice of you guys to say.
It's the
that.
truth.
It really
I
is.
appreciate it. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. You know, but this is a good fact too. Like Pat runs a second business on top of this, a highly successful business. This is a busy guy, like, right?
We're pretty busy building those basements. That's for sure.
Yeah. Time management is such a tricky subject for people, right? I mean, I get it that people have kids. I mean, I've got 3 kids. You don't have any yet, right?
No.
You've got 4.
Yeah.
2 grandkids.
2 grandkids.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all busy. We all have, and I'm not trying to make, but I think it's important for people to know that, like, if your excuse is time, maybe you just didn't find that thing. You don't know what your max factor is. You know, you didn't find that thing that you really want bad enough.
Listen, if you want it bad enough, you will find a way. And if you don't find a way, you don't want it. It's just that simple.
For me, like, I carry around this black notebook, right? And then every single morning, for 1 minute, I call it my 60-second drill. Because I could do something for 60 seconds, right? It's like not a big deal, right? So it's a commitment. So for 60 seconds, I just write my goals, right? But it's really cool because I could go back to the day before, cross things off, and over time, like, I start to really refine what's important to me. You know, is it the money that I'm after? Is it helping other people that I'm after? And I know for me, I'm going to ask you what it is for you guys, if there's something that really drives you in that regard. But for me, I found that when I connect my personal goal, like, I'm almost willing to do more for other people than I'm willing to do for myself.
Definitely.
Right?
Yep.
So, like, take running a marathon as an example. I wanted to run the marathon, so I'm like, I'll do it for a fundraiser, right?
Yeah.
That I really care about. And I did it for Team Jamesy, which is a young kid in the neighborhood that suffers from Duchenne's muscular dystrophy. But that gave me the drive. You know, I was raising money along the way with all the training and such. It gave me the drive to actually complete the training and to complete the race. In business, it's the same thing. Like, I discovered a business where I could literally help transform people's lives, which is very motivating to me, and at the same time, build a really fantastic business and future for my family. That gets me up in the morning. Like, I don't have to whine and complain. Like, you know, the clock goes off at 4 whatever in the morning to get out the door by 5, to get to a center, to work out, and then to start the day early. There's no whining, there's no complaining. I'm literally jumping out of bed, excited to, you know, take on whatever comes my way. How do you guys manage your energy to keep it anything that might be helpful to?
Well, I like to start by saying I've always instilled in all kids, like, you know, chase the dream, don't chase the money. Because if you chase the dream, the money will come. You know what I mean? So it's not about that. So it's about and a lot of people don't realize that, you know, it's all about the money, and, you know, it's really about the quality of life. Because if you're making $1 million a year and you have no time, no quality of life, you're broke. But if you have a good quality of life, you got to find that balance, and that's probably the hardest thing to do. Like, how do you work like crazy? So I always say, I work hard, but I play hard. You know what I mean? And I find that balance. So, you know, we do what we have to do to get things done, but we also find time. Like, everybody has the excuse, I can't go to the gym today. I can't, you know, I got too much to do. We could use that excuse every single day. We would never go, you know, so you just can't do that. You got to find a way.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. You said it exactly.
Yeah. Did you ever hear the saying, like, you get the exact body that you deserve?
Yeah.
Right? Like, you kind of earned it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, people make these, I think it's the same with business. Like,
Yeah.
you know, if you've got employee problems, if you're not, you talked about the law of attraction before we started.
Yeah.
Right?
Huge believer.
But how does that affect your attracting employees? Because I find, like, you can't place an ad in the paper. You're not going to find great people. Like, it's almost like you've got to strive to be the best that you can be, and you're going to attract those types of people
That's exactly
to you.
right.
Yeah, definitely. We're big believers of the law of attraction too. I mean, he's the one that got me into it, but I didn't really believe it at first. But it was something as simple as like rushing to go to the gym, and you're rushing to go to the gym, you hit every single traffic light, and it's like, oh my God, if I wasn't rushing, if I was just relaxed, focusing on maybe the workout I was gonna do, I would have been there on time. And it's like something as little as that transfers over to the work life too. And I go in the office, I'm positive all the time. I try and deliver that positive energy through my employees to customers, and I truly believe that the positivity is contagious.
100%.
If someone comes in with a negative
100%.
attitude, that's contagious as well.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
What do you do with those people?
So I'll tell you right now, I mean this sincerely. If I have somebody that's my number one producer, but they're nonstop negative, they're gone without hesitation. Because the positive, I'd rather have somebody who's my worst producer but super positive, because that energy is going to translate. Listen, you get back what you put in. And if you're positive, you're going to get it back positive.
you can teach them.
Yeah,
You you can't teach the positivity.
The positivity you can't teach.
And
you either have it or you don't.
Doesn't it go into your personal life as well?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
They say like you become like the 5 people you hang around the most.
So true.
Right?
Yeah.
So I mean, do you ever fire your friends and things like that?
Well, you start by not hiring them. No.
Yeah. But
no.
yeah.
No, but it's hard. It honestly, we're just really, really, not to dwell on it too much, big believers in just being positive, and you're getting out what you're putting in. So if you're putting yourself out there and you're helping, you don't do it to get it back, but it comes in a different way, and maybe in a way that you're not going to expect it.
I'm sorry.
No,
No, one thing I was just going to say on that, I mean, Frutta Bowls is very much, even though we've grown to 49 locations, we're still very much a family business. I mean, it started by me getting a loan from my parents, opening my first store, my dad and I starting, the process from there, and then my brother-in-law, Chris, came on. He was a full-time accountant in the city. We were able to have him come on and help us out, and, every single one of my family members has been a part of Frutta Bowls. Like my mom helping create the name in the beginning, Frutta. It's fruit in Italian, it's Frutta. Or my sister and I drawing up the logo, or absolutely anything. And for us, it's like, we don't want to fail each other. So we're going to do whatever we can to make sure, we're awesome. Successful. And we're able to also have that balance between family and work too. Like, we have my niece's birthday party the other day. We were able to kind of put work aside and we enjoyed family time. So stuff like that. So I think we find that good balance there.
It's hard too, because now, especially like on Brooke's point, being a real family business, my son-in-law, Chris coming in, I got to be honest with you, he was...
It was the best thing that's
ever happened in this company by far.
Yeah.
Like what he bring to the table was stuff that we don't know.
Yeah.
Like Brooke had this incredible idea. My wife and I were supportive to, water the seed, and let it grow. But we only knew how to get it to here. And, thankfully, Chris believed in Brooke, and he came on, and thankfully, I mean, it's the minimum I could say, and took it from this seed to this giant tree, and it's still growing. And honestly, we really, wish he was here actually, because
I learned a ton from him he comes from a corporate background, so
right.
I've never been in that background. I mean, before this, I did personal training and nutrition, and I've always had a passion for being healthy and active, and that's kind of how Frutta Bowls came. Our products are no added sugars, no juices, as healthy as it can be. It contains sugar, but it's all natural sugar. We're not adding anything in. And that's what I love to do. I love to go in the store, create the recipes, come out with new products, go around, work in the store. I love working shifts. But he comes from that corporate background where he's able to kind of do like distribution, a lot of the big things that we really didn't know in the beginning. And I've learned a tremendous amount from him. And my dad as well. I've learned in the beginning from starting Frutta Bowls to now, I've learned so much from him I can't even explain. just every single day business decisions that I have to make that I don't know. I literally call him, I think, like 500 times a day. But then Chris is just completely different.
Well, he brings
in
so
regards
much more to the table. Like, had successful businesses and construction and this and that, but his mindset, I mean, listen, Chris, what, 28?
Yeah.
He's probably the smartest guy I've ever known.
Yeah.
Wow.
Literally.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
it's not just the smarts that got this.
He just thinks 10 million steps ahead.
And
awesome.
he's what I always say. There's a lot of talkers and there's people that get things done.
That's
so
crazy.
it makes me crazy when I hear people, all right, let's have a meeting to talk about the meeting we're going to have tomorrow.
Nah.
It makes me out of
No
my
time for
mind.
it, yeah.
Like, don't tell me what we're going to do. Just
And
tell
then
me
the
what
time you
you've
talk
done.
about that,
Yeah.
he
Yeah, by the
already
time
did
he's going
100
back, Chris
things.
has already
Oh
done
my
it. And go,
God.
here it is. Here it is. And we're like,
Yeah.
oh my
That is
God.
awesome.
And that's what I love because that's how I am. I'm like, don't tell me about the problem. Tell me about the solution. You know what I mean?
But
and how
we
we're going to
find a
solve
good
it.
balance because each one of us handles different things. Like, he handles a lot of the construction stuff, let's say. Chris does more of like the distribution, the numbers guy. I like to do more of the products and in-store operations, stuff like that. So there's like a very good balance there.
I don't think people watching know the magnitude. 49 stores is a lot. It's a lot. 16 states. That's a second.
That's the real challenge.
That's a challenge, right?
And that's where Chris saved the
That's
day.
what Chris really did. I mean,
Saved
so
the
in the
day.
beginning, the first store opened. I said, I got a loan from my parents, and first in the beginning, it was like my dad was like, "Hey, I don't believe, if you want to do it, then do it."
I didn't even know what acai was. I couldn't even say it.
I didn't.
I was
either.
like, what are you doing? But you know what? I was like, you know what, Brooke? I believe in you. Here's a check. And I swear to you, that's the truth.
Well,
My wife and
but before that, you were like, I'm like, what's the first step? You're
Well, hold
like,
on. You want to hear
creating
you want to hear the
business.
real story how
Yeah,
this started?
I
This
do.
is really cool. She comes back from a vacation in California.
Mhm.
I pick her up, what are you, JFK or whatever?
Yeah.
So we got like an hour and a half ride home and, excited to see her. She was gone for a week. And at the time, you're doing personal training,
Yeah.
right? And so get in the car. How was the trip? Dad, I got this great idea. I go, all right. So I hear her out for 5 minutes. I'm like, so what'd you guys do? Did you go to the mountains? Did you do this? She goes, wait, so listen, this acai, and literally I couldn't get anything about the trip out of her the whole way home. She was obsessed, like telling me about it. We get home. She takes the bag out. I take the bag out of the car. We put it in the kitchen. Now we're on the island, and we're still talking about it. I'm like, listen, I'm going to bed. Like it's like I don't even know. It's like midnight, and I said, it sounds like a great idea. I said, I don't know nothing about it. One day maybe I'll try this acai. I think I called it or something like that.
I called it that too at the time.
Yeah. Let me know where this is going. She's like, and you wouldn't let me go to sleep. You're like, we got to do this. We got to look for a place. I'm like, Brooke, I don't even know what you're talking about. So I said, stop. Here's what we're going to do. Grab a yellow piece of paper. She grabbed the legal paper, which I always use for my notes every day. New page for new page. So I go, grab a pen. She starts writing down. I'm like, I give her a list. Here's what you do. You want me to help you? I want you to get a name, incorporate the business, get insurance. I don't know what I did. I gave you a list.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, when you get all that done, you come see me, and I'll take you to look for space, and we'll see what we could do. Right? I believe in you. I wake up in the morning. Who's still sitting at that kitchen island?
Oh
I
my
go,
goodness.
this is not happening. So I look at her and go, paper's all over the island. And we had a big island. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I got everything done, but whatever it was, insurance, because nobody was open. Like, I incorporated the business. I did this, I did that.
I
I'm
did
like,
do the business.
I was
overnight,
like-
yeah.
She goes, can we go look at that space today? I'm like, are you out of your mind? Like, I'm thinking we're going to talk like next month, And right then and there, I knew this is
Absolutely
happening.
unbelievable.
This is happening.
Unbelievable.
I just don't know what it
knew
is, but it's happening.
I just knew. I mean,
I think anybody watching this, right, that ever had an idea that, you love this one? Like, I love this one because I'm sure you guys get this all the time. Oh, yeah, I thought of that.
Yeah, all the
like,
time.
Great.
A lot, yeah.
I thought
That was
a lot
my
of-
idea.
I
So-
thought of a
so-
lot of things that I didn't do,
so you
too.
ready for
It's-
this?
You got to think of it and you got to take action.
yeah.
So anyone who's
He
watching,
said that.
do it, man. Like, just
Yeah.
go home and freaking do it. You
That was the
stayed
one
up
thing
all
I
night
said.
and did it.
Yep.
The one thing I said is,
She says it all
if
the
I
time.
don't do this, I'm gonna look at it in a year when people are opening acai shops, and I'm gonna say, "Damn, I should have done that."
You
That's
said that
literally
yesterday.
what I
Yeah.
said. And I said,
And you
I'm
beat him
telling
to
you
the
right
punch.
now, if I don't do this, I'm gonna regret this in a year.
I didn't know what it was. Your dad came into this office. He came here for something else. That's how we met, actually.
Yeah.
You came here for something else. We were talking, and you're like, "Oh, sorry, I'm late. I had to go get bananas and pineapple." And it just all of a sudden, there's a line out the door. I have no idea what's going on. My daughter started this business, and people are wrapped around the corner on Route 9. They're stopping traffic. Like the cops are
Yeah.
going to come, and I had to go shopping for her because there's nobody else, and we don't have enough employees because There's just a line and we don't even know how it got there. It's just crazy.
We bought
And I'm
all
like,
the granola in
what the
Mama's
hell?
Town.
Yeah.
Next day I was there eating it. I was like, I gotta try this.
You came in the first story. I remember that.
Yeah.
My wife and I literally, it was so funny because we stocked the store for opening, didn't know, how much you need, whatnot. Literally, Brooke's like, I need granola. I'm like, all right, we're at this shopper. We're getting granola. I get back, she's like, get more. I'm like, all right.
Get strawberries.
I'm like, where's Mom? She's getting strawberries. She comes back with strawberries. Like, what are you doing? Go get bananas.
I mean, we thought it was,
it was nuts.
I guess really when we put it out on social media, it grew pretty quickly. I mean, I was expecting, my mom and I to work the store and it be like,
That is crazy.
Yeah, my wife's in the back cleaning. She's working. You should see when she was creating the recipes because.
Oh my God! There was acai on the ceiling. There's that. I mean, so that goes back to what I was saying. I mean, after I did that and we found a space, I got the key to the store April 7th, and it was an old Ruta, so there wasn't really like a lot of permits and construction that had to be done. We did our soft opening May 7th. So when you say overnight success, I think of that because that's literally overnight. Like. Nothing really develops in 30 days.
But the attitude and all the basic skills of perseverance and
there's
and
a lot
even
more
the
that was years of building.
The courage to take the action. I mean, come on. I mean, that's like crazy.
In that though, there was really no sleep. I mean, it was working in the store. We designed our tables in the Home Depot aisle. We have pictures of it still.
Literally, the first post on Frutta Bowl corporate Instagram is her and I, it's true, in the Home Depot pipe aisle, trying to figure out with what pipes do we need to buy literally to make this table, and then we carried the whole table assembled to the register.
Sick.
And I'm
pour the concrete
so
on the
awesome.
driveway.
literally, and we went, we need this 3 more times. Wait, Scoot, dude.
And everyone's like, where'd you buy these tables from? We're like, we built them in Home Depot.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Went down the concrete aisle and literally bought bags of concrete. She's pouring the concrete.
So we did that during the day.
It's the stuff that people would just not even believe. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But if you don't do things that other people think you're crazy for doing, then you're just not doing anything worthwhile. That's just nuts.
We were working at that store all day, and then we would stop. I was still working my construction company, and I was going there. But Brooke's there all day, and then I think because the POS system that she had built, she was working with a company overseas. So correct me if I'm wrong, but she had a standing meeting every night for 3-4 weeks at
It'd be 11
midnight?
to 4 in the morning.
Every single night.
It was getting developed overseas, so I mean, I could really only meet with them at that time. So it was all day we're doing the construction, trying to figure out the store, recipes, and then then it was pretty much
and then at night
there.
I go to bed.
Awesome.
I went to bed.
Yeah, because there's this saying don't if you want to be an entrepreneur, want to scale a business, don't just work in it. Making the acai bowls.
Yeah.
No, don't just work in it, ringing up the sales. Don't work in it, mopping the floors, whatever, but work on it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, they get hung up on this because they're like, yeah, but I don't have the time. I can't wake up any earlier. I'm already getting up at 7 a.m. or whatever it is, right? It's like, no, man. It's like whatever you've got to do to leverage your time. And it's just sleep less.
Yeah.
If you really want it, just sleep less and just get it done.
I swear, I don't know when you sleep. And I swear. It just...
No,
to this day, I still am always
that was really no sleep. Now I get more sleep now.
Maybe 5 hours instead of 2.
That's awesome.
I will say though, I mean, going to your comment before, I didn't even think, hey, this is work. If someone's saying I can't get the motivation to kind of do it, then they're just not doing the right thing.
They're on the wrong path.
They're not doing the right thing. I didn't think one day this is work. I gotta wake up today. I'm like, holy crap! I can't wait to freaking design this place.
That is awesome.
It was just fun.
It never felt forced. It never felt like, hey, you have to go. Oh, I gotta go. It wasn't like that. It was just get out of my way. I have to go. And that's.
I'm sure he didn't want to show up sometimes because we would come in one day.
Oh, yeah,
the store was teal, and I was like, I walk in, I'm like, no, this isn't it.
We got over in a week.
And we're like, let's try wood, and then we do barnwood. I'm like, no, this isn't it either. The next thing is then we started. That's when we went to Home Depot. I was like, this is it. We're doing pipe tables with concrete. Then we did it started with the doors being black. As dumb as that sounds, the look of the store. The doors were black. I'm like, that's it. That's where we're starting. And then gray wall, and then brick, and then wood. It's like an industrial type of vibe. So.
But someone that actually works in the office said to me today that said you got to stop. I'm like, I got to stop what? They're like, we had to redo this flyer. It was this gigantic flyer. I'm looking at it. I made this flyer. How do because people get shit in the mail. I wanted it to stand out, so I made this thing. It's a poster basically, right?
Yeah.
But it gets mailed to the homes. But anyways, we were going over the copy, then tweaking it and going over and tweaking it and changing it, then involving other people, taking the pictures over and over and over again, having the artwork redesigned over and over and over. No, not a square, a circle, whatever. And in the end, he goes, sometimes good enough is good enough, and we just got to get the thing out the door. And that's where you're wrong. You can't. Good. Sometimes, yes, you got to get it just about perfect, and you just don't have the time to take it over the finish line. Like your 49th store is going to be more in line with your ultimate vision than your first store because you have more resources and everything. But
definitely,
you can't just settle. You can't be the type of person that settles. And high personal standards is something that I would say the large majority of people on the face of the earth are missing. And that's one of the ingredients that you have.
Yeah.
Now, I have to say one more thing about it because you guys got me jacked out of my skull about this. I'm serious. Like, I feel like running through a brick wall over here. It's like, jump out this window. We got to do that. We got to crush this. I got to build another 100 stores to get ahead of these guys.
Right now.
This is great. I'd have to build up to that. I don't want to be crippled for the next week. But we have something in the office that we call vision, action, and spirit. And with that, I said, look, if you're going to bring an idea forward, don't just bring the idea. I want you guys all to have a vision for the future. I want you all to be thinking entrepreneurial, how we can make this place better than what it is today. But you got to be able to back it up with the second piece. Mm-hmm. You got to take the action to make that vision a reality.
Absolutely.
Because you want to be one of these people on earth walking around with ideas, but you just don't have the fortitude, the commitment, the energy to put the idea into to bring it forward. You got to take action.
Totally.
But the last piece that you guys just totally crush too is the spirit and energy which you bring to the table, right? Like it comes from the heart. And and I truly believe this, especially when you're preparing food, like when you're preparing food for someone and it's done the right way and it's done, someone really cared about it. It's different than when you get it from someone who doesn't care, So that combination, like the vision, the action, and the spirit of energy that you're creating something nice for people, something wonderful, a business that gives back and that is really part of the community and that cares about its franchisees.
Yeah.
I mean, I know like when we talk, like it's not, a lot of franchisors, there's, they don't really care about the franchisees.
Yeah.
You guys are willing to go the extra mile. You go work in their store if they need help. You send people out there to help them.
It's so true. I mean, you said like when you eat a product and Frutta Bowls or anything food related, if you're getting a product from someone that cares, it's just a different experience. But we're not able to serve the customers the product because we're working in the office. But it's so important that our energy and vibe kind of trickles down to our franchisees, to trickle down to our employees, to give our customers that same positive vibe. You know what I mean?
We talk about that all the time. I talk about like when we hiring a manager. I say my personal opinion is it's much better to hire a personality, a great person, an outgoing, and teach them to be a manager. Rather than telling them, oh my God, I got 20 years of manager ability, and they're just standing there like a robot going, can I help you? That's not the guy. You're like, yeah, but he's got the experience. I don't care. I'd rather have a kid that's like full of energy and bubbly and like, hey, Joe, how you doing? Welcome back. You want that same ball? You know what I mean? Interacting with the people. That you can't train. Yeah. You could train him to be a good manager.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's about the people, and it's about the people.
Yeah.
I find that to be also a pitfall of many business owners because rather than making hard decisions, sometimes you make a bad decision and it's just not a good match for you. Let's say for me as the employer, like I've hired people, I thought that they were going to kick ass and somehow it turned out not to be the right fit and they're miserable and I'm not happy with the results. And if you let that go forever, it's really not good for them.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And it's not good, but a lot of business owners just don't have the fortitude to say, okay, this is what I'm looking for. Something's got to change here. Let's work on this together. But then if it doesn't change, you got to change, right? And it's really helping that person because they're not going to be happy unless they find something that they truly love. If they can't crush that job, it's like, But I feel like a lot of people, you guys come across that people get held back because they're not willing to make the tough decisions.
Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely.
Definitely. All the time.
I think it's so important in any relationship, business, employee, whatever have you, that it's good for both parties because if it's only good for one side, it's a temporary relationship. Mm-hmm. It's just that simple because it's not going to last forever. But if you find that relationship that it's mutually beneficial, you're both going to succeed. It's just, simple math.
If there was one thing that you were going to tell people that are looking to get into business or make any sort of change in their life, what would that one thing be?
Be happy.
Be happy. I love that. Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. That's the first thing. Because if you're not happy, what's the point?
Yeah.
What's the point?
And when you're happy, you're gonna be on the right path to do what you want to do and be successful, and you'll have a happy life. You know, there's no point in being miserable and not doing something you don't enjoy. You know.
Well, I can tell you this: anybody who's looking for a healthy meal, they should go on over to Frutta Bowl.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah,
That's for
definitely.
sure.
We appreciate that.
Yeah. But on top of that, something else that I pulled out of this conversation as we wrap up is that, these guys start every single day. You guys start every single day with a workout, and I have to say that, look, when you keep yourself in shape because you eat healthy, take care of your body, and exercise regularly, you have more energy.
I couldn't agree more. That is huge.
And when you have energy, you can take action.
That's
and
it.
When you take
Couldn't agree
action,
more.
you get results.
Yeah.
So anybody out there who's just like, what's the secret to success? I think you could probably rewind this. They could rewind this whole thing and probably pull out like 15, 20 good nuggets. But, work out, eat healthy, and be happy. I think it's a pretty good start, actually.
I agree.
All right. Well, this was awesome.
Yeah.
You guys pumped
We
up
enjoyed
or
it.
what?
I love it.
So pumped
We've
up.
been pumped up since the day we met you.
I'm jacked out of my skull. All right, guys. We'll see you guys soon. Don't forget, take it to the max.